Let's get you caught up on all the latest stock market news and prepared for the trading day ahead. Today, the market is feeling the lingering effects of Supermicro's release of preliminary Q3 results and slashing their guidance yesterday. Supermicro slashed revenue guidance by 10 to 23% and said during Q3, some delayed customer platform decisions moved sales into Q4. SMCI is down about 16% at the time of recording, and NVIDIA is down about 2% in sympathy. Today, the president is scheduled to hold a cabinet meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then he is scheduled to give remarks about investing in America at 4 p.m. with many CEOs, including NVIDIA's Jensen Huang. News broke yesterday shortly before market close that the administration is considering doing away with the tiered system of the upcoming AI diffusion rule. That rule is scheduled to go into effect on May 15th and would limit the number of countries NVIDIA is allowed to sell to. Reuters says the administration is considering removing the tiered system of the rule and instead using countries' access to NVIDIA's chips as leverage in trade negotiations. Secretary Lutnick said yesterday that he has a trade deal that is done and ready to announce. He's just waiting on that country's government to approve the deal, which he expects to happen shortly. Also yesterday, the president said that negotiations with India are going very well, and he thinks we have a deal on tariffs. So it appears that India may be the first trade deal that gets announced. If we get an official announcement of a U.S.-India trade deal, I think we could see an initial positive reaction in markets. Yesterday, Visa reported earnings and shared some encouraging news about the current state of the consumer, saying, quote, "Consumer spending remained resilient even with macroeconomic uncertainty." We have two very important economic releases today, GDP and PCE. PCE is the Fed's preferred metric to gauge inflation, and so this will have an impact on markets today. PCE will help shape market participants' expectations of future interest rate cuts. According to the BEA website, GDP is scheduled for release at 8:30 Eastern, and then PCE at 10 a.m. Eastern. The last PCE release was at 8:30 a.m., but according to the BEA's website, today's release is scheduled for 10 a.m. Here is a screenshot from Trading Economics showing consensus estimates for many of the metrics that will be reported this morning. Looking at the S&P on the daily time frame, we are still holding nicely above that key resistance trend line that we broke above last Friday. Let's see if we get continuation in the days ahead. We could potentially run into some resistance around 5,700 on the S&P and around 17,700 on the Nasdaq. Be ready for some volatility in tech and AI stocks both today and tomorrow as the market braces for mega-cap tech earnings from Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and Amazon. Investors will be paying extra close attention to Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon's CapEx guidance, and that will have massive implications for NVIDIA and other companies that are central to data center build-out. Microsoft is the main hyperscaler to watch when it comes to CapEx. Amazon and Meta are likely to maintain their CapEx guidance after the AWS VP of Global Data Centers recently said that there are no fundamental changes to Amazon's expansion plans. And then yesterday, Meta announced a new standalone Meta AI app. It appears Meta wants to compete with OpenAI, and they will need a lot of hardware from NVIDIA to do it. Microsoft is the big question mark on CapEx guidance this earnings season. Microsoft usually provides CapEx guidance on their earnings call, so be prepared for that today in after hours. Multiple companies have reported earnings this morning, so let's very quickly run through some of them. Caterpillar missed expectations on both revenue and EPS, citing softer demand and dealer inventories. Caterpillar said they expect up to $350 million in tariff costs in Q2. Caterpillar is up about 2.5% at the time of recording. Humana is up at the time of recording after beating EPS estimates and sticking by their 2025 guidance. Generac beat estimates on both the top and bottom lines, and they widened their guidance ranges in light of uncertainty around tariff and trade policies. ADP beat on both the top and bottom lines and increased their earnings guidance. Etsy beat estimates on revenue, but they reported negative EPS due to a charge of $101.7 million related to its sale of Reverb. Yum Brands missed analysts' estimates this morning on both revenue and EPS. We have massively important earnings after the closing bell today, with both Microsoft and Meta reporting. We should also get earnings from Qualcomm. Microsoft and Meta's earnings calls, outlooks, and CapEx guidance will have major implications for tech stocks, AI stocks, and by extension, the overall market. And that's it for today's stock market update. Let me know what you think about this series and what you want me to cover in future videos. And with that, I hope you all have a great day. Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.